Hello, everyone. Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome to the fourth and final day of the 11th International Youth Conference. Thank you so much for joining us here online and in person to come to this wonderful event. My name is Gabrielle White, and I'm a second-year student at UCLA and studying global studies and public affairs, as well as a program and impact associate with the International Organization of Youth. We here at IOI are humbled by all of your contributions to this meaningful experience. It is thanks to all of you that we're able to host such an incredible space for youth engagement. Change starts small, and by being here, whether it's speaking, tuning in online, or even just listening, this is how we can facilitate youth spaces in global development. Please give yourselves a round of applause for coming to this wonderful event. A few quick announcements. Please make sure to sign in at the registration table. This is essential to make sure you all receive your certificates for being able to attend this event. And there's also going to be a 10 a.m. to 11:30 hybrid plenary online. However, we will also be showing it up here later. Okay. Yesterday's sessions were filled with insightful speeches and inspiring messages from several incredible speakers and panelists. Some of the highlights were the announcement of the Council of Future Generations for 14 to 19-year-olds, which is a space for integration into global conversation and a gateway to making change. We had the Poverty Lab workshop, which emphasized community-driven solutions to problems, and an amazing cultural night, which gave everyone an opportunity to showcase and observe the wonders that different regions have to offer. Are there any brief lessons or takeaways that you all would like to share from yesterday's events? Yes.
I learned how to map out the struggles and the breakthroughs in the poverty workshop and to really start small, just an idea, and then learn how to take that and break it into smaller steps, to use your assets to make change in your community.
Thank you so much, I completely agree. We will now be moving on to our first keynote speech. She's the Honorary Consul General of Senegal in Los Angeles with extensive leadership roles in diplomatic and cultural organizations, including the Los Angeles Consular Corps and the Association of Honorary Consulates of Senegal in the US. She's an incredibly passionate humanitarian and advocate for women's rights. It is my great honor to welcome the Honorary Consul General of Senegal, Mame Toucouleur Mbaye, to share her opening keynote.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just so thrilled to be here today because, youth subject matters and topics are my passion. These are passions. I'm going to start with a little story with you guys. When I was young, very young, we had the young girls and the young men in our corner, and my mother used to make sure she put us together every weekend in our house. So we can, discuss anything and everything. And it was something that's still I'm having into my adulthood and until right now, because that's why it's built in my heart. It's close to my heart. My mother had a vision. My mother believed in youth because she understood that the legacy should be handed out to you and go ahead and get over that. So the heritage could be put together far away in advance so we can have the world evolving. And we always sit down and listen carefully when we cannot understand the vision. So that actually built and shaped my arrival to here. When I first moved into the United States, I just knew that I needed to take my mother's legacy here. So I didn't get involved in a lot of conferences where everywhere they invite the youth, I'm there. I spoke at UCLA, I spoke at these institutions. I spoke at USC, I spoke in conferences where they invite youth to be participating. And unfortunately, right now, I think that it's not enough. It's not enough because, a lot of places, I'm in the council corps. I'm the secretary of the council corps here. And I wanted my seat there so I can have your message conveyed, youth message conveyed, youth presence conveyed in the policy, and then to have their place on the table. So I get myself involved in a lot of things. I'm the president of the Sparks of the Diplomats. And through that, I actually focus in my heart, that's close to my heart, to make sure the youth, diplomatic youth, have a voice to be heard. And so I organize every month, something that I give to them while they're here. And, they probably don't know anything about policies or anything while they're tagging along with their parents. Coming to the country and hopping off from country to country. And unfortunately, they're not heard enough. They just sit in the back burner, they're doing their own things. I'm gonna speak on behalf of my children. My children here, sometimes, they just feel like, nobody cares. They just in their own world, they're in their own things, in their rooms sometimes, in their cell phones, or in the social media. And I think it's just a disconnect over there. And we need to put it back together, glue it back together. And how we're gonna glue it back together is get them involved. And also, I just was invited to Azerbaijan, Baku, to speak, to be part of the intercultural conference over there that they organize every year. It's an international one. But as I was sitting on the audience and listening to all these powerful diplomatic peoples talking about economic development, culture, and everything, but something was scared. The youth. The youth was not involved enough. And I know also there's a language barrier, there's everything, but everybody's doing things on their own side. But I was brave enough to actually just go do a step. I was, I went to where nobody went. I went and met with the young people on the street. Met with young people that came to help. I mean, they had them help in the conference, but they were not involved in the program, where they can go over there and sit down and talk with other people. As a matter of fact, I'm speaking from my heart, because these are all my experiences with the youth and what I've been doing for my diplomatic corps. So I actually went on the street. As a matter of fact, the young Azerbaijani kid was 9 years old, approached me and he says, well, he heard us speaking English, me and my colleagues. And he came, left his parents over there, and came straight to me and said, where are you guys from? Are you guys from America? I said, yes, we came here for a conference. And little did I know that the kids spoke very well English. I asked him, first of all, how did you learn English? He says, I learned it from myself, through the internet. And, we started our conversation for 30 minutes, we couldn't stop. His parents did not have a word of English to say, so we were engaging each other. So we talked and asked him questions. I tell them, what is your vision and all that stuff. And it was so amazing how, even at that age, you could learn from these kids, from here and from the whole world. And we know that the world is hurting right now. And I think what's missing here, the missing link is the youth. Youth engagement in diplomacy, the youth engagement in policy, and the youth engagement in economic development and everything. And you know what? We have to admit, the youth is shaping the world. The youth is actually, making sure the world is advanced, and I can see developing fast. From their wit, from their practice, from their engagement with other youth around the world. And I really, always think about that. So, we just need to know that the youth has a place and they need to sit on a table. They need to sit on a table where the decision making is happening. They need to sit on the table to make sure and convey the message of what they learned among them and with other youth around the world. And I think that's what we need to really make sure we focus on. Again, I'm speaking from my heart because of experience and because of vision and mission that I have for myself. You know, we have to admit, we have the legacy to give to young people, but we learn from them to know how we can help them, how we can actually help them sit on the table like us, so they can continue the legacy. And, you know, I've seen things happening. I'm from Senegal, and I see that the youth is developing rapidly because you know what, social media, because what they engage in, because the knowledge that they have. Just give me another example. Sometimes I say, oh, we don't even know how to handle the phones. Because I have to, I'm speaking from my own experience. I have to call my daughter to help me sometimes in some things, because you know, I'm not at that level where you guys, the youth think and act rapidly. So it's just so amazing that you know we all need to be shaping focus on the leadership that the youth has to actually be part of, you know. And we have the economic projects and the environmental resilience. The economic progress is missing the youth involvement. And I think that every country, every government, every place need to be focusing on that. You know. We have digital innovation. In digital innovation, who says digital innovation says youth? Who says digital innovation says transformation? I just came back from the Silicon Valley briefing, you know, and we were invited, and you can only imagine how much, the youth is shaping the innovation of that. I could tell from my own, I was surprised to see that even people from Senegal are actually there. And I saw that a lot of people, a lot of youth from around the world are there, sharing their experience and their innovations. So we also need to focus on the human rights and peace and security. And the human rights, you know, we have an experience with the mayor of Los Angeles, the former mayor of Los Angeles, actually had a program called Maya, Mayor's Young Association Ambassadors. And every year he contacts the diplomats to make sure he invites, they get involved in that exchange program. So they send like 25 kids from here to different countries, and the diplomats have to be involved in it. And that was an excellent program that they had. So when they send them to these countries, they come back and they have to meet again with the mayor and the diplomats that sent them there. And I thought that was an excellent program because, you know, every one of them came from their experience and from what they actually learned from there to share with the rest of the world and the youth here in this, in the city. So we have global challenges and opportunities. Let's take it. The global challenges, as everybody knows here, is just like we have some missing link. And again, the youth. The youth is just like I have high respect for the youth because you know what? Without the youth, we're not going to go anywhere. The world is not going to be healed. And I think it's fast developing. And if we focus on them, if we give them legacy and have them with their hands open right up there and learn from them and listen from them and give them the heritage, the world's going to be better. And we will have a lot of innovation, a lot of things that's going to be happening. That's going to be benefit from everyone and every single person, every single nation, every single government to be able to learn from it and make the countries and the world advance. So we need to bridge the gap. The gap is missing right now. The gap is really wide. We have to make it closer so the world can be smaller. And we can only focus on these major issues that we have here in this world right now. So I'm taking the legacy that my mother gave me a long time ago, and I'm working with it. And every single day, this is my concern. Every single day, I'm working on it and seeing how I can shape the global initiative, the creative initiative that we can have in this. Thinking about it and sharing with the rest of the people and the rest of the people in this world, to be able to make sure we share it and develop this world. Because we are here, the world needs to be smaller. And who we need the youth. Thank you very much for your attention. This is from my heart to yours and your families. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I cannot express enough how inspiring and wonderful it is to hear the spaces that you need to have. I completely agree with the points on making sure that we don't just speak to youth, but we also give them a platform to listen and speak to one another. Now I have the absolute pleasure to welcome Hector Palencia from the UCLA School of Social Work to give his keynote speech on Hope is Only Just a Flicker.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.